So what's our unique value proposition as continuous upskilling to change that? The first one is that you will stop trying to guess what skills you need to improve. Based on your goals, we will have a complete evaluation of your skills, so a more concrete diagnosis that is complete and has been tested with other people in other companies before. And you will be able to compare yourself towards the goals you're trying to achieve. So where you need to put more effort and investment in terms of developing your skills. The second big part of that is that knowing your diagnosis, knowing your goals, you will have a tailor-made action plan. So we will have suggestions of what things you can take, both in terms of material and in terms of practices that will recommend you to grow that skills. And with that plan, you will continuously track the things that you are doing towards those, with that material and practices. We will see that in a second in the example. The third part is that you will not be accessing a step-by-step course because your situation and your needs are unique. So you will focus your time only on those things that you need. So you can access all the material, but you will not need to follow a predefined program, and you can choose those cohorts and those practice sessions that really fit your plan and that really help you grow. And the last one is that you will have a coach that will have individual sessions with you, and the coach will be opening an individual space for your problems and your questions and whatever you will need to know, and also will validate your progress towards the action plan and will help you refine the plan for future iterations. So I already explained a bit of how it works, but essentially these are the three combined parts. The first one is a monthly action plan. So you have this action plan based on your needs and based on the diagnosis and the goals you want to achieve. Then you will engage in these continuous learning activities. And finally, you will have the monthly coaching sessions to check the progress on your plan and to basically, based on the progress, update the plan for the next month. So you will kind of see if you need to even go deeper in one skill or if you have completed some progress and you want to move to a different skill. And one important difference from other programs is that the learnings activities will be both internal to the program, so things that you will get in the classes and in the practice sessions, but also external. And you will be faced or proposed with external material that you can access, that you can read, and also external based activities. So why don't you implement this in your product and you bring it to the monthly coaching session for us to debate and review? So this is the sort of interaction you will be getting, and it's not only based on video lessons on the course, internal video lessons. Okay, but to get into this action plan, we need to do something first, which is the assessment. And the assessment, just to give you an overview of what this is a very complete set of things that you need to consider to see your level of understanding of the different topics. So we are basing this assessment in 5 big categories. The first 3 are around the process, direction, discovery, delivery. Then we have all your knowledge about the product, the user, and the industry. And you have all the collaboration techniques or abilities. And finally, for leaders, there's a special track, which is around product leadership. For each of these areas, we have the set of skills that may compose them. For example, for direction, you will have vision, you will have strategic selection, you will have vision and strategic communication, strategic planning, goal definition. And by the way, this is an example for leaders. So there's a different assessment for leaders and for individual contributors. But describing the skill or saying that you need to grow in a skill is usually not enough. If I tell you need to gain more vision skills, what does that mean? So what's in there? So what we're trying to do is to set a set of behaviors or attributes that we will see if you are good at the vision skill. So for example, you will say your vision meets the necessary attributes of a strong product vision. Your vision is focused on the user and contains a differentiation that's why the user will select you. You will have inspiration. Your vision is inspirational and motivational. Your vision is known and shared across the company. So all these things, attributes or behaviors, are things that you can evaluate more precisely to see if you are there or what you need to improve. So basically, the assessment is composed of a set of questions, And as you can see, the questions are a bit more detailed than my 2 words of example. And also you have a more complete set of instructions on how to complete the assessment for you to consider and review and assess. By the way, the assessment is our template, as I was saying, complete and based on practice, but we can add more topics related to your needs, and you can actually decide where to focus on for the action plan. And that's probably a good segue to this, to the results view, in which we'll say, okay, for the different skills, I will have a rating, and the rating is based on the competency of you on that skill. So for example, we will have a gradient from beginner, basic, proficiency, proficient, or accomplished. And in this case, this sample product leader is rating himself in vision. And instead of beginning by rating himself in the skill, he will first view the different behaviors or attributes. So for example, he will say, is my vision meeting the attributes of a strong product vision? And he or she considers that it's not very futuristic, it's not very user-centered, so he rates himself as a 1. He still doesn't think that it has strong differentiation, so also a 1 from that one. And based on those 2 things, it's also not very motivational, so again a 1. So based on these questions and really analyzing in depth the status of that particular vision, he rates himself as a beginner, and he can compare that for example, a recently promoted leader which is growing, the expected rate would be basic proficiency, and for experienced leaders would be proficient in vision. So you can immediately see the gap, and you can see what you can do to improve on that gap. So based on that, you will select your focus areas, and for the focus areas, you will have a set of recommendations as an action plan. So for example, you will have some books that you can read, you will have some articles that you can read, you will have some online classes that are on the program, that those are the most internal materials that you can access. And then you will also have a set of applied topics. So for example, you can have as an action in your plan to formulate the vision for a fictitious product. And that's a way to practice and to do some deliberate practice about the topics that you need to improve. Also, you can apply some of the exercises in the classes to your own work. So for example, we describe a series of questions or assessments for vision, that has some scoring, and you can apply that to your own vision to see if you are improving it or not. So you can review your vision to have a better time horizon, or you can remake your vision to make it more tangible. So there are the things that you can apply, and through that application, you can learn and interact with your coach. So with the action plan, I told you already what you will do, but how you actually make progress in the action plan is by doing these recurring check-ins. So we will ask you to tell us how you are doing with your action plan. And this is not for us, it's for you, basically. But you will have a way to submit the progress you are making and some notes. And what's the beauty of this? It's not only kind of some sort of accountability towards your action plan. It's also a way to be very well prepared for your coaching session and be able to discuss with your coach some of the learnings or the blockers or the things you discover along this action plan. But also, it's a very good way not only to discuss this with your coach, but maybe with your people manager, for example, or with peers that you are interacting and trying to compare these skills. And let's use the example of your people manager. If you are discussing what you did to improve a skill, this is a very detailed view of what you are doing rather than, hey, I was trying to improve my skill, my vision skill. So this is how it can become useful, not only for the program, but also beyond that. And this is the progress you will have at your fingertips. So with all these recurrent check-ins, the final part is having the session with the coach. So we're saying you can review your actions and the progress you make. We can debate on the questions, feedbacks, or ideas to continue, and we can commit to a new action plan. That being said, that covers the end-to-end of the programs in terms of these recurring learning activities we are doing. But for sure, we have our activities calendar, which is based on the cohort material. That's what we were saying. You can select the ones more appropriate to your skill development. And currently, we have switching 2 tracks. One is for product managers, one for product leaders. For product managers, we will have a set of cohorts, monthly-based cohorts at the moment. The first one is, for example, fundamentals of the role and process of modern product management. Then we will have discovery, then delivery, and so on. And for leaders, there is separate cohorts. For example, the first one in May will be fundamentals of product leadership. And the second one will be leading with vision, strategy, problems, and objectives, which you can see takes 2 months and is the most fundamental direction part for leaders, which is, of course, very important for this role. Then you can see it continues with discovery, delivery, but these cohorts are not the same between product manager and product leader, and the concepts are not the same, and we will see it from different perspectives. So how this looks in terms of a calendar, I'm only showing the May calendar here, because in terms of the cohorts and how you can access the material, you can kind of go through the material that you can consume on your own on a weekly basis and based on your action plan. Then you will have for the cohorts these practice classes that are based on the content displayed on this particular time frame. And for example, for leaders, we'll say, hey, we will have these activities, but then we will have fundamentals practice class 1, in which we will do activities. And the intention there is that we don't spend time in these sessions reviewing theory or going through lectures, that we actually can do offline. And basically when we are together, we are doing practice and we are doing debates. So this is true for the lead track and for the PM track. And these are the blue boxes, and the orange boxes are about more broad practice sessions. For example, for leaders, we will have a session around leading with outcomes. And we'll present a case of a company that wants to shift from leading by output to leading by outcomes, and what are the challenges. And this is the invitation for all of you to bring your cases, your problems, your whatever you need to do in order to prove your skills to this safe environment in which you can actually test yourself. So basically, this is complement to the cohorts in which we will see a variety of topics that can fit your action plan. And this is the place for you to bring these topics and to take advantage of the cases and actually make sure that the program is fitting your needs by bringing your own topics to the table.